It seems that with every new Mario Kart game, the multiplayer sees more and more features added that are for the better, and Mario Kart Double Dash is no exception. I have already demonstrated the tag team co-op mode and how groundbreaking of a feature it was on its own last part. This time around, let's go over some of the returning multiplayer modes and how co-op is compatible with each of them. Two-player mode has all three main gameplay formats accounted for, in that you and a buddy can race in Grand Prix separately or together, as well as go toe-to-toe with one another in a vehicular duel in either versus or battle mode. 3 players can only access Grand Prix as long as 2 of the 3 characters are sharing a cart. This configuration can also be used to play versus mode, alongside having the option for 3 separate carts for those 2 modes. 4 players see the most combinations of ways to play, in that the 4 players will be racing in pairs of 2 in order to play Grand Prix, which on top is another option for versus and battle mode. You can also have 1 pair of 2 players to make up 1 cart, alongside the other 2 in their own carts for versus and battle mode only. That is all for what Double Dash has to offer with up to 4 players on one system, but if you happen to have a second GameCube, monitor, and copy of Double Dash, broadband adapters for each GameCube, and compatible cross cables to link the participating GameCubes, you can play with up to 8 players. As an alternative, which has the potential to give each player their own screen, and has the capability of having up to 16 players, with half being a partner to other players, you can link up to a total of 7 other GameCube systems. Good luck setting all that up, as it will require the 8 GameCube systems alongside multiple monitors, copies of Mario Kart Double Dash, controllers, and memory cards, which are optional if each player is to use unlockable content. With each GameCube hooked up properly, have each system head to Double Dash's title screen and select the LAN mode option. From there you can adjust the settings involving game mode, CC class, number of laps, course order, screen division, and choose whether or not to use co-op play. When the race begins, each player is assigned a number to designate their part of the screen, and is given random characters and a cart that they must race with. This was done in order to eliminate the time it would take for each player to choose their characters and cart. From there, gameplay using LAN mode stays virtually the same, in that the objective is to survive the mayhem and win. Hello everybody, this is Nintendo 14. Welcome back to the Year of Mario Karts. Last time we showed off the co-op mode in the Star Cup and made quite the scene of trying to get that gold cup. Wasn't easy by any means. This part we're going to be picking Yoshi and Wario in the Wario car or the Wario Brute, depending on which game you're playing. I think it's called the Wario car in this game, and then the Wario Brute is in another game. And we're going to be taking those few things to the Special Cup. And man, I did not adjust my audio accordingly. Like, I'm trying to adjust my audio, and then all of a sudden it got louder when I meant to lower it down. But anyways, here we are in Wario Coliseum. Quite the fun track. This is only a 2-lap race because this is a pretty long track in its own right. You know, kind of like with Rainbow Road 64. Anyway, because that I like it. I just like the concept of a big track with a big track in the way that there's less than 3 laps. It'd be interesting to see that this track would go 3 laps. Then it would appeal to my opinion on the fact that we should have that one track that's longer than the others. So anyways, like with all special cups, let me give you all the tips and tricks on how to get through the later cups. I think this is something that I can call the finale tips. So for starters, the majority of the people that you're going to be racing with are going to be in heavyweight carts. I think in some cases there could be a medium weight thrown in there in case if you're not sporting a heavyweight yourself. But 9 times out of 10, you will have to be racing with the other heavyweights. So that means if you plan on racing in either a lightweight or a heavyweight, then expect to be knocked around a lot, assuming that you can't get a lead on the others like I'm doing right now. So I don't have to worry about getting knocked around, because even though I'm using a heavyweight, the Wario car is the lightest weight heavyweight cart in the game. If you want to really not worry about getting knocked around, I suggest using Bowser's cart. That one, I think it's tied for having the most weight on any cart. And the Piranha Pipes and the Boo Pipes, I think, those are the other carts that match the weight that Bowser's cart has.
But by no means you can go ahead and use any of the lighter weight carts, but just be in mind that you will have to deal with that. But anyways, I also like to keep in the back of my mind, you choose whatever character that you feel comfortable with. I like to use Yoshi in the fact that his special item you can get some really good items out of. So like say if you throw the egg forward, you can potentially get mushrooms and stars. And just getting those two items, it really gives you a big advantage, especially if you're in first, because as we all know, you're not supposed to be getting mushrooms and stars in first place. But with the Yoshi egg, that most of that is quite possible. And in some ways, like you can really break the game just from just using Yoshi's egg or Birdo's egg, and just randomly getting mushrooms and stars. That's the one thing that makes me really enjoy playing as Yoshi and Birdo is that their special items. They can give you some really broken advantages. All right, getting into this next race in Dino Jungle. So you can run Yoshi and Birdo if you like, but it's also a great idea to mix things up for yourself and get at least one of those two characters of either Yoshi or Birdo. And then for your second character, I like to either throw in a character like Wario and Waluigi that have the bomb, or have Bowser and Bowser Jr. And that's both of those characters, or those combinations of characters, they can help in just making a really offensive blockade to protect yourself from the other racers. So like say I'm in first right now, I can try and go for a bomb with Wario and then throw that back, so that way they can keep the opponents at bay. The reason why I would do this is because any moment where the CPUs are anywhere near you, whether it be you're in front of them or worst case scenario you're behind them, they will do whatever it takes to screw you over. Like say they'll throw the red shells back towards you, they'll throw their green shells forward you. They really don't have any consideration on what's going to work out for them the best. So yeah, it's best to get down and dirty with the CPUs. Don't show them any mercy, but still just do your best to manage your race and do what you got to do in order to stay in this front running position that we're in right now. So thankfully we got a huge lead. We don't even have to worry about the CPUs, which in this game, sports the first game in the series right now, is that there's no rubber banding. So that means we can have huge leads like this, and we don't always have to worry about CPUs right on our tail, which is great because, oh man, imagine if there was rubber banding in this game, and then that was paired with how aggressive the CPUs are for this game. They could be throwing non-stop red shells, green shells, really whatever they have in their arsenal, they will throw at you, and that's no fun. So let's thank the developers at Nintendo for not putting rubber banding in a game like this. I think rubber banding, it works much better in, say, Mario Kart Super Circuit or Mario Kart 64. Alright, so we got 2 easy wins. That really helps us with Dino Jungle. Well, not Dino Jungle, but it really helps us with the Special Cup. So that really takes the load off of us for right now. But we can still keep getting these wins, so that way we can further cement our position in the first position. So that way we can win this thing and get our unlockables. So speaking of those unlockables, I do like despite that the unlockables, they could be quite the grind to say like you have to go to lower difficulties just so you can unlock this specific cart. I knew that that was pretty draining, just to have to go through 50 and 100 CC. The fact that there's no challenge to them, and they're pretty slow CC classes, I felt like that just took forever. But with 50 CC or 150 CC, it's a lot more entertaining because the CPUs they'll pose a much more bigger challenge to you in here than they do in 50cc or 100cc. Alright, so that's not exactly how you do that shortcut, but For these first 2 laps, I try to show off that shortcut. It's quite a pretty good shortcut for this track we're on right now. Is Bowser's Castle. I don't get it at any point during this race, so eventually I just say we're just gonna go the long way. I've done it plenty of times in other runs in Bowser's Castle, but just wasn't feeling it right now, and neither was I with going my bob-omb forward. In most cases, when you're in first, in all cases really, you don't really need any. There's no reason for you to be throwing your bob-ombs forward. Neither is throwing your Bowser shell or your giant banana. When you're in first, just throw all your stuff back, because you know, when you have 2 items like this game has, you can be really lenient on what you have. So like, say I can hold on to this banana right now and then have Wario cycle back items. That's the one thing that you can't really do that well in Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. But for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that's coming out real soon, then you have that luxury. You can keep spinning through items. Although I think you can't, like, say, save one item, so I can't save this green shell for right now, and then just switch to another item and then keep using the item that I keep getting. It's not going to work like that in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Eventually, you're going to have to use whatever item you plan on saving if you want to get to the next set of items. Or I think when you use an item and then you get to... Oh, am I going with this? Anyways. So, we're making more mistakes, but thankfully we have an egg that we can use as the red shell. Oh, so versatile that Yoshi egg is. And so we're going to take back the lead. And yeah. A lot of twists and turns in Bowser's Castle. So I think that makes for some opportunities for us to dodge a rail shell. But we're not going to do that right now. Instead, we're just going to deflect some of those red shells with our items. That is one thing that you do have to do for Double Dash. Unlike in most games, you're not allowed to drag out items. I think I'm missing that. I think all the Mario Kart games, except for this one, you're not allowed to. You're allowed to drag items, but here, in order to deflect items, you do have to throw it back, which takes quite the skill on its own rights. But if you really want to deflect items, it's best to do it on straightaways or not when you're turning. So there's moments where I have to not drift or get my cart as straight as I can. That way I can deflect items, and on moments like that could be really risky to do. So you'd have to give up whatever entry or momentum that you have through some curve, just so you can deflect the red shell. And if you have triple items where they would break, or they would get, you drop most of them, or 2 of them at least. If you get hit, then go for it. Do whatever you got to do to make sure you don't get hit, if that's what you need yourself not doing. Alright, so Rainbow Road. I think, in my opinion, this might be the last most difficult Rainbow Road out there. I think after Double Dash, then the Rainbow Roads, they don't get as relentless and brutal. I think the main reason why this one's really difficult is this turn right now that we're going through right now. It's just so narrow, and with the kind of handling that we have to put ourselves with in Double Dash, in the back wheel steering. That's what makes this track really difficult. That, and I think this track, it's also quite narrow, just like with Super Mario Kart's Rainbow Road and in Super Circuit's Rainbow Road. Thankfully, there's, unlike Super Mario Kart, and I think for the most part Super Circuit, yeah, this Rainbow Road actually has guardrails, so that way, you know, you can rely on them like I'm doing right now. So that way you don't fall off the track too easily. They're nice enough to give you that. So aside from that turn that I didn't mention that was pretty difficult, this one's pretty tough on its own, because I don't recommend trying drifting through this turn. You can if you're really skilled enough, and hats off to you guys, because that turn, that could really mean the difference between victory and defeat. If you can get through that turn with no problems, like I didn't do back there, then you're good. But just this main section of Rainbow Road, I imagine to give so many people trouble. Alright, so we're gonna make things interesting for ourselves and get through all both those people in the top two. Now we can reclaim the lead. And look forward to what we're gonna do with that Yoshi egg, because at a moment like this we could really use something like a star or a mushroom, just so we can harness our inner greed for speed, because that's what I like in my sessions of Mario Kart Double Dash, is using Yoshi and then get whatever gets that's good from the Yoshi egg. I think one thing I did forget to mention about the Yoshi egg is that not only that it can throw green shells, bananas, stars, and mushrooms, but there's a chance that it could drop bombs, and that's the last item you want to see the egg drop, is the bomb, just because you know, it could blow up all the other items that it could drop. So I think it could drop the bomb would drop, and then a star would be right next to it, and then it blows up, and I think it'd also blow the star. So we're gonna just barely dodge that blue shell thanks to that launcher. Also lucky. I miss the launcher working like that. In later Mario Kart games, you can still get hit by items if you're in the launcher, and just because of that, yeah, you can use the launcher to screw over other people, like say if you're going over a ramp and then someone uses a lightning, or if you just like to put fake item boxes or bananas over ramps, that way they spin, and then whatever ability for them to use the boost lines, you know, that all gets cancelled. Alright, so we'll gladly take the clean sweep in the special cup, because that means we easily get our gold cup and our unlockables from clearing the special cup for 150cc. So with that, that's gonna do it for all the videos I want to have for the year of Mario Kart. I know that there are a couple more things that you can do besides racing in the main 4 cups. Like there's another unlockable that you can go for and race in there. But all right, so that took quite the effort to get to this moment. In the past 4 months, we have gone over the first 4 Mario Kart games of Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Super Circuit, and in this game, Mario Kart Double Dash. And so now we can, or at least I can, just focus on some other things, because we're not going to be going straight into Mario Kart DS, which is the next game in the series, quite yet, because we got a long year, and if I did all this back to back, then we'd be done with the series in, I'd say, either September or October. So I think that right now would be a good time to take a little break and do something else that's different from what I've been doing for those past 4 months. So I hope everybody enjoyed these videos, such as these commentaries and the intro segments. I did enjoy putting those together, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching those intro segments, as well as the outro segments that I have for exclusively Mario Kart Double Dash. I don't think I see myself putting the outro segments in, like going over unlockables for other games. I think just because of how Double Dash has their unlockables for this game, I think it deserves to be the only game where I do outro segments. Alright, so with just about everything in our rearview mirror for Mario Kart Double Dash, I can share with you some other things that I plan on doing later down the channel. For one, we're going to begin the Mario Kart 8 birthday tournament. I still don't know if we're going to be racing, or if the whole tournament will take place on the Wii U or the Switch. I think I'm gonna need more feedback and input from you guys on whether or not you guys want to race there or not. But that's most certainly gonna happen. Sometime in May, I'll get all the information on that a lot earlier than I did with last year's. And then also, I got another video going up on Thursday. It's one of the Brooklyn Boys races. I'll be in the later one. It's gonna be recorded later tonight on the time I'm recording this, which is on Sunday. But alright, with all that being said, that's all for Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart Double Dash. You know, aside from the fact that there's one more cup that we can race in. But who knows, maybe I'll stream that or not, because I'm also planning on getting more streams in, because the summer is the best part too. In my eyes, the summer is a good opportunity to start streaming that, and I do need to get back in the swing of streaming just for the Mario Kart 8 birthday tournament. That will be mainly held in June. So with all that, I think I've gone over everything I wanted to go over. I want to thank everybody for watching the year of Mario Kart so far. We're going to get back to the series in August with Mario Kart DS. So enjoy the break, enjoy your summer, if we're there yet. And I'll see you guys later.
For completing Special Cup in the 50cc class with the gold in hand, the Bullet Blaster that belongs to Bowser Jr. will be yours. 100cc will unlock Toad, Toadette, and the Toad Kart. 150cc will unlock the all-new All-Cup Tour, which is a 16-race Grand Prix that compiles all 16 tracks in the game. Luigi Circuit will always be the first race in this cup, with Rainbow Road always being the last, and all of the other tracks in between will be in a randomized order. Striking gold in the Special Cup's Mirror Mode will unlock the Boo Pipes, a stat-inverted alteration of the Piranha Pipes that belongs to King Boo. Speaking of Mirror Mode, that will be unlocked once you obtain gold in the All-Cup Tour for 150cc. And for your troubles for getting gold in a mirrored All-Cup Tour, you will unlock the Parade Kart, which is seen at the end of a Grand Prix award ceremony that is driven by Toadsworth, and can be driven by any combination of characters in the game.